Welcome to MLB Prop Pick Show, powered by the Bat on Covers. Thanks for joining us here every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, 9:30 a.m. It's good to be back, Derek. Welcome back. Nice little week off last. We had some plays in. Hit a little plus 330 on the Friday. Some walks, some player walks hit. Welcome to everybody there in the chat. Just a heads up. Got the numbers off, Derek. 132 and 58. You're like, man, what happened to 50%? Well, when you hit 330s, when you hit plus 210s, it's not the world we live in anymore. We're not playing minus 110 sides. Guess what? Plus 21 units, plus 7% ROI. So let's go with that. Happy. How are you, Derek?
I'm doing great. I mean, it's like you said, we're not doing the minus 110 stuff this year. That's not where the value is. The value is on these 30 or 40% plays that we're getting plus 150 on or plus 300 on. Yeah, Kevin K in chat, Zach Kelly, our new best friend. I don't know if you caught that yesterday. Zach Kelly was announced as a starter for Boston. The books were treating him like an opener. His over 1.5 strikeouts was like plus 160, and he wound up with, he pitched 3 innings, 4 strikeouts. If you laddered it all the way up, like it was amazing. The Bat loved it.
Oh no! Oh, missed it. Oh, brutal. And that was one of the, like, a later opening. It wasn't one in the morning, right? It was something.
No, it opened at like 5 or 6 o'clock at night. Like it was pretty close to game time.
Ooh, those are the good ones. So happy people packed on that. Question from Wild Turkey. Too early to use the blitz for week 1 props?
Yes, the blitz is not ready for week 1 yet. I haven't, I don't even think projections are up for it. If they are, they're preliminary and don't use them. They will be up probably Monday, I would say, or they'll be ready. Nice.
All right. Let's get things going. Good to see everybody there in the chat. Happy to join us here on the last week of August. If you want to support the show, hit the like button, drop a comment, subscribe. Thank you. Producer Mick back on the buttons as well. If you're looking for these numbers, head over to Covers. Head over to Prop Projections, and you can find Derek's numbers here, the Bat X and the Bat numbers, matchups, projections. And now we can go to, if producer Mick goes back and he hits the matchup drop down, we got it sorted out. Go to the top, all games. Now we can sort by projection as well. So if you're a guy who likes just outs, that's there. If you're a guy who just wants to get some over total bases, they're there too. It's all there for you. Head over to covers.com, prop projections, all things powered by the Bat. This is how we do things. If you're new to the show, I hear some new people there in the comments. We'll tell you the book. We'll tell you hopefully some secondary books, give you some time, log into that. Then we'll tell you the game we're looking at, the prop market, the team, the player, and then the over-under. Need you guys to tell us when things are moving or if you're buying it at a different book. Let's get right to it with a 4-pack today, starting off with an absolute incredible one. Bet365, secondary books, Hard Rock, MGM, and then I think a 5-point dip at DraftKings. Let's get going. Tampa Bay, Seattle. Oh, we going down. West Coast there, Mickey, all the way down. Pitcher walks. Bananas. That number is wild. That number is really wild. Jeffrey Springs. Under 1.5 walks plus 155. Jeffrey Springs under 1.5 walks plus 155. Let us know where you're getting it. Hard Rock MGM might have been 150 and DK might have been 145. So pretty available everywhere. This is interesting. Short leash guy, that's a check first, right? Like he's not expected to go mid-80s, that's for sure. He's a guy who hasn't really put in a lot of full innings. But if you go back, Derek, to his last full season, which was in 2022, 31 walks in 130 innings. This isn't even a guy with a high like walk per 9. We'll get to other guys who are like the three per game guys, but this is a different guy.
Yeah, I mean, Springs had surgery, was out for a long time, just came back. He's made like 5 starts so far. He is showing a little bit of rust, but his control's still been pretty good. And historically, he's a guy with really good control, and they're giving us a big number here. That's really what it comes down to. We've been doing these walk plays all year where they project as something close to 50%. Today, the Bat has this as a 53% win chance. And they're giving us 155 on it. So it's great value. And we hit a bunch of these over time, and we wind up being up up quite a few units, which has been the case.
We've seen a lot of these. Andrew Brent says overreaction, him not being able to find it versus Oakland. He's 3-2 to the under so far in his 5 starts this year, which is very profitable. But Milo mentioned it opened at 2.5. It was probably about -200, so tough to buy it. Same thing with like Ryan Pepiot yesterday, waiting for that to flip from 2.5 to 1.5 again, like we hit it in the other one. Another winner there at +155. You see these really shorten up quickly if he wins 1 or 2. Like we saw Max Fried go from this price to, I think yesterday it was -130.
I got Max Fried yesterday +160 actually, but I think it was +130 at most books.
Okay, that was a no play for me because it was under even money at some point yesterday.
Oh, was it? Wow. Okay. I got in early, so maybe it moved a lot.
Yahtzee says Josh is back from vacation, but his shirt isn't. Thanks, bud. Let me know if I'm lagging too. Like, change the camera settings, and I don't know what is wrong with me. I think I'm lagging, but I don't think it's the internet. Let me know if I'm freezing and my mouth isn't matching my body. Let's go. Next play. We go. MGM. Secondary book. Hard Rock. Bet365, I believe. No, all the same price. Miami, Colorado. Yeah, Nick Newport. Fried did end up at -130.
That's insane, that kind of movement. Which we weren't, I mean, it's crazy how much this market is moving now compared to what it was doing early in the year. Like early in the year, this market wouldn't move at all. And I think the word is out on how good this market is, because it's just, you're seeing that kind of movement now, which is just crazy.
But I don't see where the overreaction is. Usually they can scam people on the overs, but this just doesn't seem like a market where people are lining up to bet the over.
No, I don't think so.
All right. Still there. All right. Yeah, still there. All right. We're here. Miami, Colorado. Pitcher walks. Release number 2. Miami, starting pitcher Roddery Munoz. Under 2.5 walks, -115 here. 1.87 on the decimal for you Canadians. Yeah, it does go to -115. Let's go. 3.1 innings pitched in back-to-back starts, but he's been hitting this in like 50% over his last 10 starts. Talk to me about walk rate in Colorado. We know, obviously, with the strikeouts and the outs and everything's there, but where does it lie within walks and control at altitude and elevation?
Yeah, I mean, the big thing that Colorado does, everyone talks about the thin air and, how far the ball travels. But really, the bigger effects in Colorado is that the ball doesn't move as much. And so that means just more contact in general. Guys aren't striking out as much. If the ball's not moving as much, it's not going to be moving out of the zone as much. So a little bit of an impact on walks too. Really what we're dealing with, though, is a guy who the market kind of overreacts to sometimes. Like, he doesn't have good control, but he doesn't have terrible control. The Rockies walk at a below average rate. And we're getting it at a pretty good price here. The bat's projecting 1.8. So this one projects to win about 70+% of the time. And we're getting it at a reasonable number. So I'll take the 2.5 here.
Just got to get that first guy out of the way, right? Like, you see these 2.5s with like Birdsong 2, you're like 2 walks in the first frame. You're like, come on, guys. Like, just get me through that first frame.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Play 3. Munoz in the book. 365. Hard Rock, same number. MGM 5 points off, I believe. Game in question, San Francisco at Milwaukee. Nick Newport says, let me get this out first before we get to that. Number's still there. That's fantastic. All right. Pitcher walks. Still on it. Pitcher walks for release number 3. San Francisco starting pitcher Logan Webb under 1.5 walks, even money. This is just one of those props that you don't really have to research anything, Derek. And it's just like, where's my number? Is it in my buy point? Oh, there's Logan Webb under 1.5 walks at -110 and up. I'm probably going to buy it every time, regardless of matchup.
Yeah, exactly. This is one we've hit Logan Webb a few times this year. It's just one of these guys where the market just doesn't really seem to have a great handle on him, which doesn't make sense to me because he's a high profile, like he's a big name. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball. But they don't set his walks right all the time. And so, we'll take him here. Logan Webb projects to walk 1.15 guys, 68% win chance. We're getting it at even money. Yeah, he's facing a team that can draw some walks, but he has such good control that I'm not overly concerned, and we're seeing value on it. So give me Logan Webb again.
Is there any edge in increased control in indoor settings? Like in theory, it sounds right.
I'm pretty sure there is an impact on walks from wind. I would have to go into my factors and see if there is an effect. It's in the projection.
Yeah.
I can't say for sure off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure there is.
Back to a question from Nick Newport. Does FanDuel offer much in pitching props? A lot of their stuff is over-based, one market side, which is kind of funny. Sometimes you can catch them on the over when they set a bad number.
Mm-hmm.
And then they do that thing where they change it really quickly, really drastically to try to get you to quick button at a terrible price and then move it back up. But no, probably you don't see us release a lot of stuff from there unless it's usually pitcher overs and we're just so happen to be at the right time. All right.
And I don't think they offer pitcher walks at all
on
FanDuel, which is kind of lame.
Very lame. I think it was just recently that they got pitcher outs, right? Like it was the same. They're always like a year behind kind of the market in terms of those pitcher markets. All right, 3 in the books. One more to go. Let's go with a hitter. Let's go to 365. MGM is 5 points off here. Texas at Chicago. If you're using Derek's numbers or you're at covers looking at the strikeout props, very few people in the industry can project rookie stuff like Derek in the bat, right? What was Will Madden, Ty Madden, Joe Madden, whoever was pitching yesterday?
Ty Madden, yeah.
Yeah, you're like, okay, he's a K, I don't know, I think it was like 10 plus in the minors, right? But his stuff was like 95. Like usually those guys sit like 98 with the fastball, but he didn't really have anything. That was an absolute easy under 4.5. At plus 126 yesterday for a guy. I don't think he had a strikeout in the first 3 innings too.
Oh, I didn't do his strikeouts. I did his walks, I think, unless I'm thinking of someone else. Really good control that the books just didn't think had good control. But yeah, I mean, there's always lots of angles on these guys. And that's kind of the great thing about projections is that you can find so many different things to bet.
Yeah. And you hear me continue to talk about it. We are the ones who set the market. The books just open the price and then just change it to what we do, right? That's it. Like they're not setting sharp lines. Like especially, no, they're not. There's just too many lines. All right, where are we? Texas player hits. Ezequiel Duran is the release under 0.5 hits. I wonder if I got it in with talking. Hopefully I did. Yep, 145. Seeing it up there at the top. Under 0.5 hits plus 145. Let us know if you're looking at it somewhere else. I believe MGM was plus 140. Caesars is way ahead at plus 114, so they've already made their giant adjustment. Platoon roll now with Wyatt Langford back in the lineup, facing, and this is probably the reason why Derek's jumping on it, facing Garrett Crochet, who's probably 4 innings on the left side, and then give way to a righty, and then old Duran won't be facing the righty, hopefully.
Yep, that's exactly the angle we're looking at here. Duran has a 48% chance of being pinch hit for once the bullpen comes in, which is very high. And Garrett Crochet is on strict restrictions at this point. Definitely hasn't gone over 4 innings since before the All-Star break, I think. My biggest concern is just that Garrett Crochet seems to be tiring. His stuff has been down, might be a little bit more hittable than, well, definitely going to be more hittable than he was earlier in the year. But we're still getting a really good number on Duran, who could conceivably end up with 2 at-bats.
Yeah, that would be incredible at the 145. And we've seen kind of the hit market dry up too, right? Like you used to be able to go right to your numbers and be like, oh, here's the pinch hit risk guy. Take the top 3 guys, 66%, and you could probably get him at plus 150.
Yeah, no, it hasn't been the case for the last couple of months, which kind of sucks. But
it's such a cat and mouse game, and I like refer to it as like doping the Olympics. Like, we're the dopers who get the drugs first and like get like the performance stuff first, and like the IOC catches you later, like something like that. Like, they're always ahead of the market.
That's a great
science,
analogy.
yeah, and they're always trying to play catch up, and then you have to be ahead of them again, and that's kind of where it is. So,
Yeah.
4 in the books. Producer Mick saying, if you haven't already, hit that like button. Appreciate everybody there in the chat. Started things off, and happy to get all our numbers today on the first day back on the show. Jeffrey Springs under 1.5 walks plus 155. Why did we drop it first? Because we expected it to move the most. That's my favorite of the day for sure. Roddery Munoz in Coors under 2.5 walks minus 115. Logan Webb, I don't understand. Even money under 1.5 walks. If Max Fried can close at minus 130, so can Webb. And Ezequiel Duran under 0.5 hits plus 145. We got that at Bet 365. We saw DraftKings move 15 points immediately on that market. So certainly ahead of the numbers. Top picks. Yeah, I wouldn't shout that, but that's kind of, probably just said a HGH instead of dope. But yeah, well done. I nailed it. But we're trying ahead. And like you see it, like stolen bases. We were ahead of the stolen bases market, and now we didn't get that this year. So now you see us going to walks. And next year it will probably be gone, and we'll have to go back to another market that the books get ahead. It's like I said, it's a cat and mouse game, and it's always good to be ahead. So 7% on the year. Let's keep going. Big week this week at Covers Before You Bet. Back to 5 weeks. Lots of football content today going on at noon. I'll be doing some MLB picks. I'll see if these numbers are still here. I'll drop those as well. And the Hitman, professional bettor, Hitman is on talking NHL futures. Let's go. Derek and I believe we'll be doing some blitz stuff hopefully this week with some future stuff. And then next Thursday, it's time for Thursday night football. My kid has tryouts for his baseball team Sunday, 1:00. I said, sorry. Yeah, your mom can take you. I don't think I'm missing opening kickoff Sunday, 1:00. All right, let's leave it at that. Appreciate everybody there in the chat. You guys are the best. Thanks, Derek. Thank you, producer Mick. We'll see you back here tomorrow.